Hey, Pokedad Fan Club, it's me, Pokedad, and I'm coming to you with another one of our videos. This time, I'm actually going to show you a video of Mismagius Garb, and this is a friend of mine named Caleb Vance. He and I have been working on this. He is actually the major creator of it, and I've kind of just put a few little tweaks on this deck. And if I was going to Madison Regionals this weekend, this is probably the deck I would play because I feel like it has really positive matchups against the big three: Buzzwole, Malamar, and against Zoroark variants. So anyway, we'll hop right into this match. I start a Tapu Lele, and I've really got a pretty bad hand to kind of start, but fortunately my opponent also starts with a Tapu Lele, and he is going first. So let's see, our opponent starts with an Ultra Ball, and he puts 2 Psychic Energies into the discard pile. He gets an Inkay, so ooh, looks like we're playing against Malamar. Now, what variant of Malamar is it? Is it going to be the Psychic, just the OG Necrozma, or are we looking at Ultra Necrozma? I guess we'll find out shortly. But he ends me into a pretty bad hand here. I've got a Trubbish, so I can bench the Trubbish. He benches a Mimikyu here, attaches an energy, and then passes. And as far as all I've got right here, I know I won't need the enhanced hammers. The idea with the Mismagius Garb deck is that if we're playing against a deck that uses special energy, we use Chaos Will to keep them from using the special energy, but every now and then they get one off, so we'll use the enhanced hammer to knock that energy off. In this case, I'm debating about whether I want to take that energy off of the Mimikyu, and I go ahead and do that with the Plumeria since I have no other supporter. I think my thinking is if I can get the Garbotoxin lock off in the next turn or two, then there's a good possibility that I'll be able to just keep them from getting the energies back. And I think he's already got 3 energies in the discard pile. Now he's got 1 back on because of the Malamar, but at least he doesn't have 2 back on. I don't know if the Plumeria was right, but that's really all I had at the time. Now I'm thinking about evolving this Trashalanche, but I think it's just better to try to get Garbotoxin, because if we can play Garbotoxin, we can just really shut them out of the game here. And so we do indeed hit that, the Garbotoxin. So we use an Ultra Ball here, and discarding an energy and a Trashalanche. I really don't like discarding the Trashalanche, but I've got to get the Mismagius set up. So we go ahead and get the Misdreavus, and we'll attach an energy to it so that we can begin Chaos Wheeling. Because if we can keep them from playing, even though they don't have special energy, if we can keep them from playing Float Stones, then it's a lot harder for them to maneuver in this matchup. And we see a Necrozma come down, but now Malamar is locked, so now there's no more Psychic Recharge. He does get a Stadium down before we can get the Chaos Wheel off. However, that Stadium is going to be useful for us and as well as them. So let's see what our opponent does. He puts another energy on Mimikyu, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious why he's powering up the Mimikyu. And he's played several items right now. So later on in the game, when I can get a Trashalanche going, we'll probably be able to just one-shot stuff. This kind of put us in another situation here where I already got rid of 1 Trashalanche, and I only played 2 in the list, and I'm forced to put get rid of another one. But I do play a Rescue Stretcher, so I know I can get that back later on in the game. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this Chaos Wheel going. And, you know, frankly, with a Lele that's in the active, and he doesn't really have any good attackers ready to go, we can probably Chaos Wheel a couple times and maybe even take a knockout on this Lele. So 30 damage plus the Choice Band gives us 60, and we were able to use the Stadium, so we attached to Lele. Lele can potentially become an attacker later on in the game, but right now we've got them in a lock. So they're ability locked, and they're also can't play tools, can't play special energy, which they're probably not using anyway, and then they can't play stadiums. The tools are probably the big thing because now they can't play float stones. They do have the stadium that can help them, but the problem with that is they have to attach, and they need to. The thing is like with Necrozma, to use Prismatic Burst, they're going to have to get rid of all the energy, so Necrozma doesn't even become a really good target here. They only have 3 energies in play, and 2 of them are on the Mimikyu, so they're not in a great place right now. Part of me is thinking though that the Mimikyu might be able to come up and do a Chaos Wheel back to us, and so if that's the case, we want to get at least get another tool down. I might even put the other float stone down, but I chose to help. I chose to hold on to it right there. Sorry about that. Got tongue-tied. And that's fine. We'll see what happens here. So it looks like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in the discard already, and he does Chaos Wheel me for 30 damage. And so now it looks like we're gonna just do a back and forth between each other. Now I could play this double colorless and use Dark Arts, except that he Chaos Wheeled me, so I can't use my special energy, and I don't even know if Dark Arts is really a good attack in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the Misdreavus down, get another Mismagius, try to get another one set up, and we'll go from there. I really don't want to get rid of these resources, and right now if it's just Chaos Wheeling back and forth, we're going to win that battle. So I'm just content going 30, him hit me for 30, I hit him for 30, he hits me for 30. He does have a, he does get another energy on the Necrozma, and then he filches, so he breaks the Chaos Wheel lock. So now I can actually play down everything I need. I can go ahead and use I can play the Float Stone down to Trubbish, I can attach the double colorless somewhere, and then I can also use the Mysterious Treasure to get another Mismagius going. And part of me is thinking, should I attach the double colorless to the active? But I think I'd rather, in this case, just put it to the bench, so that maybe if he's able to get another energy and the Necrozma has to come up and takes out my Mismagius, then I can take a knockout on the Necrozma by using Dark Arts and taking a one-hit KO since it is weak to Psychic. One thing to keep in mind is Mismagius is weak to Dark, so that when Mimikyu hit me, with Chaos Wheel, it didn't hit me for weakness. And Mimikyu has no weakness, so we're not hitting it back for weakness. But I feel real good at our position right now. There's another item in the discard pile, and once I can just find my Rescue Stretcher to get my Trashalanches back, we'll probably be able to go through these pretty quickly. Just kind of run through their attackers. And another thing about this deck is we're playing so many one prize attackers that we trade very favorably in the matchup. So here's an example. So we're going to bring the Mismagius, and my friend Caleb Vance, the creator of the deck, at least this version of it, he said we need to put a couple DCEs in there. We only play 2, but I said, why do we need them? And this is a good example for why you need the DCE in the deck. Dark Arts right here is now doing 20 times the number of cards in the opponent's hand. And so right now he's got 6 in there, so we're doing 120, and then we're hitting Necrozma for weakness. So Dark Arts is actually going to take a knockout on that Necrozma. And we're going ahead and rescue Stretchering, putting back the 2 Trashalanches. We can't get to them right now, but later in the game we'll definitely want to have access to them. And we're going to take 2 prizes here, going down to 4 prizes, and kind of putting ourselves in a pretty good position to win this game. Because he already has a lot of stuff that has damage on it. The Lele has 120, so there's another 2 prizes, and then maybe if we can get 2 more prizes off of a Trashalanche, we can just finish the game that way. Now he does use Dark Arts to KO my Mismagius, which I'm not surprised. I expected that to happen. But again, he's taken 2 1-prizers, and we have taken now a 2-prizer. And in this case, I'm going to attach the DCE to Lele, and so that it can become an attacker. Put another Float Stone down, and then we'll Guzma up the other Lele and take a knockout here. And the thing is, we've broken the Chaos Will. We broke the Chaos Will lock last turn, but the only thing we're really locking in this matchup is their Float Stones. And the big thing in this matchup is just making sure that we keep the Garboder locked down. So as long as their ability locked, they're really struggling. And this is one reason I just love this deck. He ends up having to just filch here, and I think I have. I'm not sure if I had game my top deck energy, and I think I could take a knockout on the Dawn Wings, but I go ahead and hit Well Played. But then I look at his count of items, and I think I'm just one off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm one off there. So I can't Trashalanche here because he's got, that's 140 plus the choice band is 170. We'd be 10 off that Dawn Wings. So I just take a KO on the Mimikyu. But going back to what I was saying is this deck feels really strong against the big 3. You're hitting Buzzwole for weakness, and then if you put them in Chaos Will, they can't play Strong Energy. They can't play their Brooklet Hills, and they can't play any of their tools. So it feels really strong. And then if you shut their abilities off, Diancie doesn't come into play, Rimmer Artillery doesn't come into play, and with hitting weakness and then just finishing off with Trashalanche, Buzzwole doesn't seem to be a tough matchup. Everything is so ability based that Malamar isn't a tough matchup either now, because you're just shutting off their abilities. And most of them are playing only 1 or 2 Field Blowers, which I think is wrong. I played 3 Field Blowers in my Malamar list. And then the other one is Zoroark, but when you Chaos Wheel, they can't play DCEs. And even though they've got resistance, if they can't play DCEs, you can just use Plumeria to knock off any other energies that would come into play. And so for that reason, I feel like this deck is the deck that I would play if I was going to Madison. Our opponent looks like he's trying to figure out something, but with no psychic recharge to help him out, he's just stranded there with these big energy attackers that can only put 1 energy at a time. So anyway, we're just going to attach a Psychic Energy to the Trashalanche Garboder. I'm going to retreat the Tapu Lele, and we'll take our last prize here with a Trashalanche. And so you can see that Mismagius Garb does pretty good against Malamar. So anyway, we'll take a look at the list in momentarily. It's a pretty straightforward list. There's still some tweaking to be done with this. Again, Mismagius is kind of our starting attacker. Chaos Wheel, even though it's only doing 30 damage, it's just, it locks them out. And and then Trashalanch and Garbotoxin do their work, their respective duties, ability locking, and taking big KOs at the end after they've used all their items. And I've noticed that everything is really ability heavy right now and item heavy. So all the big decks are really using a lot of abilities and using a lot of items. So here's the list. We're doing a 4-3 Mismagius line, a 4-4 line of Garbodor with 2 Garbotoxin, 2 Trashalanch, 2 Lele's, running 4 Mysterious Treasures, 2 Ultra Balls. We've got 3 Enhanced Hammers and 2 Plumerias. I'm not sure if that's the right ratio there. We might even want to go to more Plumerias. And I was toying around with Team Flare Grunt also. Again, Caleb Vance, my good friend here, he did most of the work on this. I just tweaked a few things. We play 9 draw supporters, and then we play the 8 energy and 2 DCE. So anyway, Pokedad Fan Club, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think about this deck and what you would play at Madison if you were going to. Talk to you later. Bye.